Welcome back to Booze and Rocks, where we make cocktails for everyone. My name is David Edwards, and today we are going to tackle a true classic cocktail. We're going to look at the Martinez. Let's get into it. Great to have every single one of you back here today. We are looking at a true classic, the Martinez, possibly the granddaddy of the martini. It's hard to say though. However, there are two origin stories for this cocktail. One of them is that it was made by Jerry Thomas in the 1860s to 70s while he was at the Occidental Hotel. The other is by Richelieu while he was in Martinez, serving in a bar there. However, none of that is actually written down and can't really be corroborated. It's very much a lot of bar tale, bar folklore, but it makes for a really interesting story. Now, the Martinez does, however, show up in Jerry Thomas's 1887 Bartender's Guide 2 years after he died. But the first time we actually find it in print is in O.H. Byrons' Modern Bartender's Guide from 1884 on page 21. In it, he quotes that it's the same as a Manhattan, you just add gin for whiskey. However, on that same page, he has two different versions of the Manhattan. Go figure. So what's true? This is one of those things where you're not really sure where it came from, but we have a starting point. Now, this cocktail has changed and evolved over time, where it's become more of a 1-to-1, 1 part sweet vermouth, 1 part gin, right? But in the 1920s, you went away from the sweet vermouth to more of a drier style vermouth. And that can be confirmed in Harry Craddock's Savoy Cocktail Book from 1930. So we have a change, but it's actually started to switch back over time, and you're going to see that 1-to-1 ratio come. But this is your version of a Martinez. So the version that I'm using is 1-to-1 with some orange bitters and Angostura bitters. So let's get into it. Now, this is a stirred cocktail. None of that fancy shaking. It's too much effort and work for this cocktail. But I promise it sounds like it's going to be great. So the first thing you need is your Old Tom gin of choice. In this case, I'm using Langley's Old Tom gin. Now, an Old Tom gin is sort of between a dry gin and sort of a Ginevra, so it's not quite as sweet. We're going to use 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters. The next thing you will use is your sweet vermouth of choice. In this case, I'm using Dillon's Sweet Vermouth. It is a local brand to me. It has notes of berries in it. I really, really like this stuff. I can drink it straight all day long. And again, we need 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters. Beautiful. The next part of this recipe is Maraschino Liqueur. And technically you could use 1/4 ounce, which is 7.5 mils. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a little more than a bar spoon. The average bar spoon is 5 mils. So we'll just go a little bit big. Next, we need some bitters. Depending on your recipe, you'll either see orange bitters or Angostura bitters or other bitters of your choice, totally up to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 1 dash of each, one of Angostura bitters, and then one of Dillon's orange bitters. Now we're going to add some ice and we're going to stir this, but I'm going to let you in on a bit of a secret as I'm throwing the ice around. So you don't need as much ice as everybody tells you. A lot of people will say fill it up all the way to the top. You don't need quite that much, because if the ice doesn't actually make it into the drink at all, it's a waste of your ice. All right, look at that. Very nice. Tastes good. Put that off to the side. Grab your coupe of choice. Now in this case, I'm using a nice little 4-ounce coupe. You can use whatever you want. Normally this glass or this drink is served up, so martini glasses, coupes, but again, totally up to you. Remember, because you're making this at home and you're enjoying it. Oh yeah, look at that color. Now, the eagle-eyed among you will notice that I did not chill my glass. Mostly because I didn't think about it, even though this should be served in a chilled glass, it's up to you. When you chill a cocktail down and you put it into a chilled glass, you actually taste less of the flavors. So it's up to you whether that's something you really, really want to do. So what we're going to do is garnish this with a little bit of a nice little lemon twist, just to give it some color. And it is traditionally lemon. So what you can do is, using the little round edges on your bar spoon, just take your bar spoon and just kind of do this. This will give you a nice tight twist. Simple, easy, effective. Give it a little bit of a twist over this, just to pull it tight, so that you get something that looks like this, assuming I can do it. That. Absolutely gorgeous. So let's give it a smell. So immediately I get the hints of lemon from the lemon oil from the twist right there. Oh, this is very good. This is very good. It's nothing like a Manhattan, even though they are so similar in creation. The Old Tom gin is a slightly sweeter gin, so it's not dry. The Sweet Vermouth and that blend really, really well. And the bitters give you those subtle notes, the orange, and of course the Angostura. Oh yeah. And the color is just awesome. What I am going to do is I'm going to put the ingredients and the method of how to make this down in the description down below. If this is your first time to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell notification. That way, every time I put up a new video, you will be notified. And if you'd like to help support the channel, please check us out at patreon.com/booze-on-the-rocks, because every little bit helps us to bring these videos to you. You have a great day and enjoy a classic. The first one is that it was invented by, but there's nothing actually written down. It's mostly superstitious.